on those new solar passenger jets? Well, they don't know and they don't care because none of it applies to them. It never does. But we think the science is really interesting, and so we want to go through it really quickly with Daniel Turner. He's the executive director and founder of Power the Future, and he joins us now. Mr. Turner, thanks very much for coming on. So you're hearing an increasing number of people, and I want to be open-minded about this, but say that we're going to get rid of all fossil fuels in the United States and switch to something called renewables in a dozen years. Could we do that?
Not at all. The technology doesn't exist right now. And I'm optimistic. We may get there one day, but right now, here's a case in point. The largest solar farm in the nation does not produce enough kilowatts to power the New York City subway system. And that farm is 4,000 acres, which is 5 times the size of Central Park. So when Representative Ocasio-Cortez says we're going to power the entire country on renewables, there just isn't the land to come up with the solar farm or the wind necessary to have these renewables. So the science just does not equate to the reality of how we run our economy.
So what are they saying exactly? We're going to do this, but there's no science to back up that promise, so why are they saying it?
Yeah, this is, I think, all part of the 2020 presidential campaign. Everyone who has run has come out in favor of a Green New Deal, with one exception, who's Michael Bloomberg. And he is a complete environmentalist. He has given tens of almost close to $200 million just to the Sierra Club alone to fight coal. And he has said this is pie in the sky. So he realizes that the Green New Deal is not a real policy proposal whatsoever.
The American energy sector is the great success story of our entire economy. It's almost never covered, but it's really the growth sector for the last dozen years, and we're now the biggest, of course, exporter of natural gas in the world. What would it mean to kill that in 10 years?
Yeah, look at how it powers every single thing we do, from agriculture to manufacturing to transportation. Every part of our economy is dependent upon cheap, reliable, abundant, and domestic energy. That makes us, it frees us from the shackles of international conflict. It gives us an awful lot of autonomy, but it lowers the cost of all of the goods from everything we eat. There's an environmentalist right now watching this show who's eating an avocado in New York. Does that person not realize that the avocado is only possible because of cheap, abundant, reliable
energy? But I'm just
energy?
confused because maybe I'm getting old, but it seems like just yesterday that both parties were saying, Democrats for sure were, and I agreed with them, we need to become energy independent so that we're not tied, as you said, to these lunatic countries in the Middle East that hate us.
Yeah.
Well, we did that. Nobody seemed to notice, but it's the great success story economically of the past dozen years, and now we're going to kill it?
Exactly. And this all happened despite what the previous administration did to the coal industry, right? Natural gas and fracking has been a phenomenon for our country and for our economy. But the previous administration decimated coal in rural America because they didn't like coal for some reason. So why do we want these politicians who are so far removed from understanding how the energy sector works tinker with policy when they are so far out of their league?
I think those are completely fair questions, non-polemical and fair questions.